Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to part 2 of how to take amazing food photos for Instagram. So a lot of you guys really enjoyed part 1, which is where I had shared all of my tips and tricks for different angles and how I actually take pictures of my food for Instagram. If you haven't had a chance to check that one out yet, but you're interested, I will link it up here. But today's video, part 2, is all about how I then take those photos and edit them for Instagram. So if you had seen my part 1 video, you would know that I use my DSLR camera to take my photos. So if you have a really good phone camera, then you can just take your pictures with your phone and then you don't have to do this step of where I actually have to retrieve my photo. So I will typically just upload my photos on my Google Drive and then just download the photo that I want to post onto my phone and then go into the Instagram app from there. So before I actually show you what I'm gonna do on my phone with the Instagram app, I just have a couple points that I wanted to make. So I could use presets. I know a lot of people use them, but this video is not for using presets. So this is what I actually do for all my photos to make them all look the same. And the other thing I just wanted to say is I'm going to show you how I edit them in the style that I do for my personal Instagram. So the vibe that I go for on my Instagram is very light and bright and minimal shadows. And I also like to take away the orangey yellowness in photos. So obviously you can do whatever you want with your photos. So this is just in my style, but I think you can still learn from what I do and make it your own. Okay, so I'm on my Instagram, so let's get our picture. So I'm choosing to upload this one. All right, so the first thing that I always do is I like to apply the filter Ludwig, I don't know how to say it, but I never apply it to the 100%. So this is where it just kind of gets like you have to look by eye. So I just like how it kind of intensifies everything. So I think I'm just gonna leave it at 50 for now, and I can always adjust it later. So the next thing I do is I go to edit, and typically I will click on adjust if there's something that, you know, I want to zoom in on. Say I wanted to just zoom in on this plate like that. I wouldn't do that though because there's all these things in the corner. So this picture I think is actually pretty good as it is. If it was from further back and I wanted to zoom in a little, this is where I would do that. This is where I also play with rotating the image. For example, that's kind of cute like that actually. So, now I'm not sure. Do I want it like this or like that? Guys, I'm a Libra, so it takes me forever to decide like the smallest things. So, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go with how I had it before. Okay, this just somehow seems a little more natural to me. Okay, so done. Oh, also just wanna mention while we're on this screen is if ever you're shooting from up top and say you didn't shoot it directly head on and one side of the plate appears to be bigger, then I would go here and I would like bring it closer or further away to make it look like it is like more directly head on. And same thing goes for this top and bottom feature. If I wanted to switch around the closeness from the top or the bottom, I would just do that here. But the picture that I've chosen is actually pretty perfectly like head on. So I'm not gonna play with that. So first thing I always do is I like super bright photos. So I'm just gonna increase the brightness, but not too much where I lose kind of, you know, all the color. So I'm gonna leave it right there. A lot of this is by eye, guys. So there's not really a formula to it. It's just, you got to keep playing around. And the more you do it, it just becomes like really second nature. If there are a lot of dark shadows, like there's some shadows in this, as you can see, like right beneath the slice of cake. So I'm actually just gonna lift those shadows just a little bit. You want to be really careful with the shadows because if you remove too many from a picture like this where there is kind of that shadow there, it's gonna look really washed out. So I try to balance like getting rid of the shadow enough that I'm like liking the picture, but not too much that it washes it totally out. All right, so I'm gonna leave that there. So now what I typically do is I will sharpen the photo up a little bit if I need to, just because it does get a little bit kind of like lightened up. The details get lightened up from all the brightening that we've done. So I'll just leave it there. I never go past 10 because then I just find it looks way too sharp and just like really unnatural looking. And then the last thing I always do is I go on the warmth and I tone down the yellowy kind of tones in the picture. I always want like a cooler, bluer tones to come out. And that's actually a good tip for getting like more of a pure looking white. So if I hold down on the actual picture and then let go, you can see that quick little change there. So once I've done like the first steps, like what I just showed you, I will go back and still keep playing with things. So in this case, it's just still not bright enough for me. So I'm going to increase the brightness. I'm just taking it all the way and then bringing it down. So I think that's a bit better now. So look how bright that just got, what we've done so far. Let's just see if we take down a little bit more of that yellow. Yeah, I think that's okay like that. Something that I will do sometimes, just to mention it, is I'll go into the structure if I feel like it's a really light photo, and you can see as I bring this up, you just get more of that detail. So I am actually going to increase the structure a little bit here, and you get to really see those like fluffy layers of the cake. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and post this, and I'm going to first see how it fits with all of my other photos. As you can see, I'm pretty happy with that because it flows nicely. So if I noticed that it was like a little bit too dark still, then I would have just deleted it quickly and gone back. So when you post something, it'll save to your phone. So you can just post the latest photo that you just did with the edits that you already have, and then you can just simply adjust the brightness. But I am pretty happy with that. As you can see, it does fit with my grid. So that is what I do to have my photos look like this. And then you can always go back into the edit to write your caption, or you could just delete it and repost it again with your caption already there. And just one other note, in terms of having your feed look really nice, I try to post different kind of angles of cake. So here I've got the full cake. That's why I went with a slice of cake here. Here I've got head-on shot of something like the profile, whereas here I have an overtop shot. So I always like to keep a nice variety of like the side, again, over top, just to add some interest and make your feed look a little bit more dynamic. All right, well, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found it useful. Let me know down below in the comments if you have any questions at all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.